Okay, hello. I know this is live. I'm just posting up and posting the link for everyone to start joining the stream. Hopefully someone will be here soon, and I'll get the chat up and we can have a little Q&A session while I replace the ESC on my Chameleon. So yeah, let me just fire up a few more posts and let's see what happens. Super spamming everybody's channels, and hopefully someone will show up. Good evening, hello everybody. So far 3 people. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Hello Square. I didn't kill the ESC, Square. It is, well, yeah, it partially died in a crash when I lost on my GoPro last week. Of getting a lot of noise when video noise when I spin up motor 3, and when she's idling I can see motor 3 twitching. So that is why I have decided to replace the entire 4-in-1 ESC with individual Wraith 32 individual ones. That way I have more space in here for my VTX, which I also killed in that crash because it was crammed in here, and with the movement it just knocked some components off the board. And I'm going traveling, so I need a reliable machine, and right now I don't know when this number 3 ESC is going to die. So better safe than sorry, isn't it? Better safe than sorry. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start disassembling, and hopefully some people will join us in a moment. We're already 3 of us watching, so yeah, let's go ahead and start disassembling and diving into it. If you have any questions, just pop them in the chat and I'll keep an eye on them for it. How's the sound? Is audio good? Is it the normal quality? Yeah, great. Nice to hear. So I'm just going to take the top plate off. Let's see if somebody else shows up. Not a lot of people will probably show up because nobody knows me. And they're just going to see the link and go, eh, who the fuck is that? Great stuff. Hi, Walter. Walter is a good friend of mine from Portugal, Square. He's joining me tonight. He also flies. He's also got a Chameleon, and he's also interested in learning how all of this stuff works, so he's joining us there. Just one more screw to get this top plate off. I'll get the strap out of the way as well. So this machine is running Maytech VTX FlySky X6B receiver, which I'm going to disconnect. And it's running a CL Racing F4 stack with a Spedix 4-in-1 IS30 ESC. I've been running this ESC for about 8 months on another build of mine. I just transferred it into here a few weeks ago, but yeah, she's pooped and on her way out, so let's get rid of her. Yeah. So in here, let me get my soldering iron warmed up. Yay. Yeah, sometimes stuff goes wrong. Hopefully nothing will go wrong today. Everything will work flawlessly. So while my soldering iron is warming up, I'm going to carefully remove this tape that's holding the cables down. Yeah. Get all this electrical tape out of the way. I think the rest can sort of stay. I am gonna cut this heat shrink off. Yeah. These wires were extended. These are actually Eachine Wizard X220S motors that I bought off Banggood super cheap. And they already came pre-wired with this mesh, this purple mesh on them. And with these colorful cables. And you can see that all Banggood did was just extend them from the really rigid motor cables. So I'm just gonna snip that off there, and pop my ESC there. So I'm gonna get rid of all this purple braiding bullshit. In the meantime, right, 5 people. Hello, Sparky. Hi, guys. Yes, clean builds are always good. This is a relatively new build. You guys probably know, Sparky, that I built this a couple of weeks back. She's a bit of a lemon so far. I've had her lost on top of an aqueduct. I lost my GoPro off her, one dead VTX, and now a partially dead ESC. So, you know, if she starts becoming too expensive, I'll probably retire her and throw her against a brick wall or something. You know what I mean? You know what to do when shit becomes expensive? You just get rid of it. Well, in theory, I might donate it to someone who's starting out. See if they have better luck with it. Alright, and before these motors were on this quad, they were actually on another quad that I was built to sell. And on its first flight, the person who was going to buy it crashed it into the ground and killed in the sea and bent one of the motors. So that was fun. I didn't have the heart to ask him to pay for it, because he's a good friend of mine. But yeah, lemon. C4? Yes. I would go for some plastic explosive on her, yeah. Indeed. So yeah, once I get this braiding off, my soldering iron will be warm enough to start desoldering stuff out of here. Okay. There you go. So I can very quickly just remove all these cables. I think this ESC is going straight in the bin. Because the way I tested it is I spun up every motor individually with my goggles on, and they're all clean except motor 3, which is just a ton of noise. She flies okay. She doesn't idle very well, but I want a reliable machine, so going traveling, need to take a good working machine with me. Come on. Desolder these. There's not much to desolder on this stack, so that's that. I need these signal wires, which is that one, that one, this one. Where's my tweezers? Tweezers. This one. So CL Racing F4. It's an okay board. It's quite old already, but it's reliable. It hasn't fail-safed, hasn't disconnected, hasn't done anything weird. In the crash, I also managed to kill the buzzer. The built-in, it's got a built onboard buzzer. I'm not worried about that for now. I'll use motor buzzer. I'll use the D-Shot motor buzzer feature, which Betaflight 3.5 has. Nice stuff. Yeah, how many people? 6 people. Nice. More zoom, please. Okay. There you go, Walter. More zoom. It'll probably be out of focus. Let me get the focus ring. Advanced webcam. There you go. Is that better? Yeah? Gonna desolder it with power leads as well. Let me get my surgical hemostats for this. This purple shit out of the way. Well, these power cables are no longer going to be used like this. So what I do is I power, in this case, both of the ESC and the flight controller have a current sensor. On this case, I didn't connect the current sensing from the ESC to the flight controller. I just used the internal ADAC on the flight controller for current sensing. So the battery plugs into the flight controller, and then I got these little piggy leads that go down to the ESC input. That way my flight controller, and these power are coming out of the power pads for the ESCs on the actual flight controller. That way I've got current sensing from the flight controller rather than from the ESCs. If I plug the battery straight into the ESCs, I would have to hook up the ESC's current sensing output to the input of the board, and it's just more hassle. You have to calibrate it and do all this crazy stuff. So here, now this stuff, what do I have to unplug here? I have to get rid of my camera cable. There she goes. And I have to unglue my camera control board, which is stuck in there, as you can see. There you go. Now all this harness can come out almost in one go. There she is. So yeah, this CL Racing F4 has got UARTs on the top and on the bottom. So you can see my camera controls on the bottom, VTX. My receiver is down on the bottom, and then the VTX control is on the top. So yeah, it's a bit all over the place, but it is nice. It was cheap. And it has proven itself reliable so far. It hasn't died. So who else is here? Do you see any questions in the chat? D-Shot buzzer is very handy. I haven't used it yet on any of the quads because they all have working buzzers. But on this one, I could like just solder a normal buzzer onto these two solder pads here, rip this component off. But I can't be bothered. If I've got the facility, let's use it. So the ESC Avalate, just to recap, motor number 3, when it spins up, is generating a hell of a lot of noise, video noise. And when she's idling, I can see it twitching. It flies okay. Well, it flies okay-ish. I haven't checked in the black box if one of the motors is maxing out or if I've got any loss of performance due to that problem. But I like reliability. I don't know if she will just randomly die from 1 minute to the next. I'm going traveling, so that's why I'm replacing it. Yeah. Hopefully it'll be interesting enough for you to watch. I might not like go too deeply into technical details, or else we could literally sit here for 5 hours. So if you got questions, technical questions, I'll answer them. But I'm not gonna stop too much to like go through too much stuff. So let me just undo my cap. This is something that's also glued down. Come on, there you go. And there she is. One Spedix. It could even be that there's like a solder blob or something. Let me adjust the light. Might get a bit too bright for you guys. So yeah, motor number 3. It doesn't look like anything physically on there. Except maybe here. That's interesting. This plus pad, the solder is a bit close to this FET. Oh, I'll retest her at some point on my test rig. So I'll need the cap. This can go into the test later bin. Yeah, another thing I wanted to do is get this VTX out of here, because that is way too crammed. I don't like this. I prefer having the VTX on top of the stack. held in with its appropriate screws. It's a half stack board, so it should fit in place quite nicely. And right now, with the 4-in-1 VTX in this frame, you can't put her on top of the stack. Rightio. So what yeah, I don't have to do anything major here. Do I have to solder anything to the bottom of the board? No, it looks pretty clean. Alright, that can just go back into position. Like so. I can go in there. Nicely. And I can tin these pads. Let me get this power. This is my this is my power telemetry for the receiver, so I can see on my on the FlySky display. I can see the battery voltage, which is a nice little feature to have. I just need to clean these pads up. Use 60/40 solder. You put fresh solder on the pads every time. A little dab of fresh solder. Let's just do a quick test on this before we go any further. So ESC minus. ESC, so the minus are the outside, and the positive are the inside. Cool. Great stuff. I'm going to use quite a thick gauge wire for this. Because I want maximum power. It doesn't really make that much of a difference on such short cable runs, but I do. What I'll try and do is match the pluses and the minuses. So if I put it that way, I'll have probably less prop strikes on these caps, and all the heat dissipation will be upwards. So heat rises. Let's keep these FETs on top. That way the minus corresponds with minus there, which is cool. Yeah, let's just leave a little bit extra cable for it to move around. see what's going on in the chat. Damn phone. I'm going to be using the Wraith 32 ESCs. Yeah. Airbot Wraith 32 V2. It's got a 32-bit MCU, current sensing, 2 to 6S LiPo, designed for 30 amps, and it's got a really small footprint. They were around $18 delivered, express delivered. So yeah, I'm paying a little bit extra. I bought 5, so that is about, I think it was about $90 in total. Yeah, I know, they're $11 on Banggood, but I don't buy from Banggood when I'm building reliable machines. I buy hardware from Banggood, I don't buy components from Banggood. If you're not a main. So yeah, quite expensive upgrade. And an unfortunate one because the IS-30 is an okay ESC. But like I say, that one lasted 9 months. I think I got my money's worth of it out of the Spedix in terms of fun value. So why not? Plus, yeah, I'm going traveling, so gotta get some footage. Gonna tin up these cables. Gonna tin up the ends that were pre-tinned just to do some more goodness. Don't know if this is in the shot. Yeah, barely. Yeah, got those tinned. Now, yeah, I'll tin these top ends. And I'll tin my... I'm not going to use ESC telemetry yet on these, so I'll just tin the ground and the signal. I'll leave the telemetry off. I don't think I have a spare UART on this board for ESC telemetry anyway, because I'm using the camera control and I prefer to have the camera control rather than ESC telemetry. And I'll tin these 3 motor pads as well. That's it. Should be enough for now. Why don't we go ahead and pop these wires on. There you go. Not happy. That is a dry joint. Sorry, I don't have this angle's not quite right. That is a dry solder joint. We don't like dry solder joints. That's better. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Nice. I'll use white for my signal wire. Like so. Let's see what's happening in the chat. They've got 2 LEDs on them. I don't know if there's any sort of RGB-ness or something. The LEDs are on the top there. Yeah. There's more LEDs there as well. Oh look, LEDs on both sides. Who would have believed? So I've got LEDs on that side and that side as well. I don't know if they're the same function or not. Hopefully they are, but if they aren't, I'm not too fussed about LEDs anyway. LE watts? The only LE I like is LEG. No, I am not going to wire up the telemetry, Will. I do not have any spare UARTs for telemetry on this build, which is unfortunate. But wiring up telemetry on these is just a case of wiring them all together onto a single UART and configuring the UART. So I know you've got these ESCs on your build, Will. I don't know if you got the telemetry or not, but I'm not really that fussed about the telemetry on this one. I don't have UARTs available. So just get the signal connected. Give it a bit of a tug. So that is great. And just so that I'm not verbally and physically abused by the quad community, I'm going to hook up the ground cable as well. Okay. Where's my clippers? There they are. I'll hook up the ground cable for the ESC, just to keep y'all happy. And later down the line, it'll probably save me some troubleshooting some noise. Keep the ground plane in check. Right. So there's my ground cable. I could just jumper it from here to, from there to there, but let's do it properly. And that will go onto this ground as well. There you go. That looks okay. It's a bit long, but it's good for now. Now these guys, these disastrous Chinese cables. this. If I forget, so yeah, if I forget, please remind me to pop the heat shrink on when I come to solder these motor wires, please. Yeah, I remember you saying that you'd pulled one of the UARTs off your board, Will. Yeah, not too bad. That is unfortunate that you got that, but at least the whole thing still works. So these cables, man, I'm seeing the future. I see the future. I bet you if I strip back these ends of these cables, I'm gonna run into enamel coated wire. I am. I'm gonna run into Sheen's enamel coated wire, and that's a pain in the ass to solder onto. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do some folding action. Because it doesn't really matter which direction these go. I'm gonna fold these over. It's not gonna look pretty, but I'm not in the business of pretty, as you can probably tell. So, shit. Yeah, this is just going on to another level. Going to a whole new level of pain in the ass. Yeah, I think this will work. So if I fold them back like that, that's a good position for it, right? What do you guys think? I think this is what is going to happen. Yeah, that is going to happen right now. Before I regret it. Decision done. Tinned. Let me reorient this. Like this, I'll have some play in the wires as well. I'll cover it. Oh yeah, thanks for reminding me. Heat shrink tube. Love the heat shrink tube. Just get it all the way up there so it doesn't melt whilst I'm trying to solder it to here. Here we go. Middle one is black. I'll sort out the direction of the motors later in the BL Heli suite. Nice one. Nice and tinned. I'll add some more solder to these pads in a moment, because there's not enough on here. Yeah. Gotta sort of get these into a way where they will not interfere with the motor. Yeah, I guess that'll do. Let's go ahead and add some preliminary electrical tape to this. And it just so happens that my feet are in the way. It's just squishy feet. Cool. That'll hold them in place while I add some more solder to these two. Nice. That looks alright for one. Let's move on to the next. Rinse and repeat. Hey, welcome to the stream. Viewer number 8. This is my first live stream. First live stream ever. All I've done before this was a couple of live tests with some friends, but I think it's acceptable. So I'm replacing my 4-in-1 ESC, which was going bad. The Spedix, which was going bad, with 4 Wraith 32-bit ESCs on my Chameleon. That is what we're doing tonight. So I'm on to ESC number 2 now. Don't know if you guys are noticing, but these are actually nail clippers. They are quite good for as cable snips as well. Nothing like professional tools for a professional job, eh? Yeah, if you know someone who would like to learn how to do this kind of stuff and would be interested in watching the stream, shout them out. Get them on. The more the merrier. Like, comment, subscribe, you know, all this other jazz. If you are not a subscriber, your subscription is more than welcome. This thing is... Okay. Yeah, typical. One's always going to be up. One's always going to be flipped around, because on this board, the negatives are on the outsides, positives on the inside. The old school method. It's the old school way of mapping the pads on the CL Racing F4. So, unless I put it upside down, let's keep them all the same way. I'd rather have the cable twisted than the ESC upside down. It is what it is, right? So one's going to be straight, one's going to be twisted. Yeah, whatever. Get some more white cable. Yeah, yeah, sort of repetitive now, so I don't know how to make this interesting. I could answer questions, or I could tell you stories about some prostitutes in Vienna or something. You tell me, what do you want to talk about? Or would you rather me just keep quiet and work? Let me know in the chat. Also, let me know if you got any sort of suggestions, or if I'm doing anything that you see blatantly wrong. If you have a better way of doing something, any tips and tricks. Oh, girls sound good. Yeah, I figured you'd say that, Square. But as luck has it, I think your house has more female traffic than this house. The last female traffic in this house was a fucked up Portuguese woman who had some serious problems, man. I'm telling you. Flatmate from hell. So PWM and ground is on this end here. There, in it goes. Oh, come on. Doesn't want to go. That's it. Signal. I think I'll use the tweezers and just get them more into position. Shit doesn't want to stick today. Huh? Yeah. Are you on the East Coast Square or are you on the West Coast? Hooking up the ground. Get the signal. Florida. Okay, so you're gonna escape. You escape the giant penis that is heading your way. Look, I looked on the map today and they'd like drawn this big red penis shafting South Carolina. Is it gonna hit you at all, do you think? When I talk about penis, I'm talking about Florence, the hurricane. It's not a laughing matter. No, okay, cool. Cool, man. Is there anybody we know that's going to be evacuated and affected by this? Out of the group of people that normally hang out? I just don't know where everybody lives yet. Of course. So let's speed some stuff up. We're going to cut these 3 wires at the same time. Holy shit. Well, I hope nobody's affected by it too severely. And I hope the fuckheads don't take advantage of people leaving to loot and fucking steal everybody else's shit. Which normally happens in this kind of situation, doesn't it? You see, the most severe stuff we get over here is like a couple of thunderstorms and maybe a couple of flash floods every 5 to 10 years. Where we are in the southwest of Bristol, of England. We don't have anything like the scale of stuff you guys experience over there. Yeah. Lucky in some aspects, unlucky in others because it fucking rains a lot over here. And we have the shortest summer ever. like right now it's maybe what 50 degrees Fahrenheit. It's getting cold. Winter's coming. So lucky the hurricane's not hitting us, but there you go. Yeah, I see what you mean. Alright, that's 2 done. Let's start number 3. Tin the pads, tin the pads, tin the pads. Cut the wires. Strip the wires. Twist the wires. Should really get something to remove these solder fumes from in front of me, but I try not to breathe them in that much. Starting to get hot. See, signal and ground. I'm just eyeballing it now. I can't really be bothered with the size. I am going to 3D print some ESC protectors before I go, and I'll sort of print them slightly larger so that it fits around the heat shrink. And I'm also going to put some foam tape underneath them to protect them from impacts. Yes. Always. So yeah, I have a couple on another build. These sort of square ESC protector thingies. There you go. Yes, I know you do. Square B. Yeah, I'll show you what they look like. So they look like this. So I'll print them a little bit bigger. I'll measure. Might have to sort of change them up a bit. You can see they do that little staggery thing to properly cover them, and they you know, go past the edge of the arm. So the ESC's pretty much floating in there. It's not compressed down by the protector. Yeah, they work okay. They prevent the prop strike, which is what they're designed for. And they sort of let them cool down. It does not impede the cooling. Indeed. That's good. So now let me just double check which one's the negative. Yes, see, negative's the outside one. This is gonna be tricky. Tricky. It's tricky to rock around, it's right on time, it's tricky. Shit. Yeah, I need to bend this down. It's like a little surgeon. Like a wee surgeon. Gotta get the surgical skills in there. Should have really removed this canopy, maybe. So this is the ESC signal wire, and that signal pad is tiny. Gotcha. Gotcha. Don't know how good that was in shot or not. Yeah, good solid connection there. Now, gotta get these wires out of the way. Let me get my tweezers. So these wires are in the way now. And these are my camera wires. And that is my VTX control. That goes to the bottom UART I was telling you about. And that's the positive pad for the ESC right there. So let's tin that bad boy. Actually, now before I tin it, let me move these other cables out of the way. So there's a ground cable here as well. That's clear. I'm going to carefully get in there with the soldering iron without burning the rest of the wires up. Okay. With this kind of stuff, when you sort of get stuck in there, it's best to like rotate the work to an angle that suits you better. I don't want to be preaching to the choir, but that's how. So if you rotate the work to suit you, you'll be comfortable enough. Go. That's clean. Right. Shall I take this cage off? Yeah, I'm going to take the cage off. Executive decision. Let's round off these screws a little bit more, shall we? Just quickly get the cage off. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. That screw's completely round. Shit. Nice cheap China hardware. I've got some replacements for these. I'm going to replace them right now. That one can go straight in the bin. How many people? 5 people left. Would it be possible to take the IR lens out of a runcam session? Probably not. It depends on the construction of the actual lens itself. If it's just an IR coating, maybe it could peel off. If it's an actual lens itself, will it actually come off easily? The thing about it is they probably use OCL, which is optical clear glue, whatever. OCL, it's got a name. OCA, optical clear adhesive, whatever it's called. And that shit is just, it cures with UV in the first place. So chances are, that's what they use to bond mobile phone screens, cell phone screens. So chances are you will not be able to get that IR filter off. fucking screw in the trash can. There you go. That leaves a little bit more space here to get to this last solder thing, solder pad. That's why I took it off, because that pad ain't tinned. This last pad, the positive pad. So is that a negative? Yeah, negative pad is not tinned. Okay. Great, yeah, I know. On the Mobius Mini, it's easy to just replace the lens with the wire. Yeah. Yeah, in those cases, the IR is on the actual removable lens part. But if it's fixed, if the IR bit is on the internal sensor, then yeah, you're kind of out of luck. Okay. These cables look nasty as hell. They feel different to the rest of these ones. These are maybe it's just me. On the Mobius Mini. Yeah, I've got a sort of similar to a Mobius. I think that's similar to the Mobius, is that right? Does it look anything like that? This was a £10, well, let's say about $8 or so. No, £10 is not $8. £10 is a little bit more than, like $12. It's $12, $13. This is actually the guts of an action camera for bicycles called the Red Leaf RD32. Old school 720p camera. Right. you go, motor number 3. Yeah, it's like I say, this is a red leaf. I'll pull it up here. I'll show you what it looked like with the casing. So red leaf camera. Here it is. So it's this red thing here. There it is, this one. Red Leaf RD32. So, as you can see, it's got 3 buttons. 3 buttons there, so that's the top of the camera. Then it's got, they're not installed, but this on this white strip is where the infrared, the 2 little infrared sensors would be. And it's got a little haptic feedback motor in it as well, like an old school cell phone haptic feedback thing. So this one's just the same camera, missing the infrared sensors and completely decased. And they sell it, they used to sell it at the time, like in the hobby shops, for twice the price of what that thing costs. If you know what I mean. And if you don't know better, you buy it and happy ever after. Well, I bought it like this. I bought it decased off an FPV person, you know, who probably got conned when he bought it. New, out of the box, whatever. So down to 5 people watching. I was hoping to get a bit more of an audience, but such is life. It is what it is. Let's make the best of it, everybody. So on to ESC number 4 now. Not long to go. Just quickly tin these. Need a little bit more on this one. There we go. Are you guys bored yet? Yeah, I don't know. I did post it on there. I posted on Disorder. I posted on UAV Futures, and I posted it on Butt Grinder. But yeah. Guess they're busy doing something else. Such is life. Oh, that's... What the hell? Okay. Use my hemostats. I don't know. Let's see what's happening on Discord. I've gone AFK, so turn disorder. Yeah, there's only Rat, Sparky, Dragoth. Don't know what else is happening tonight, so. Don't like that. It's almost like it's bad solder day. Shit ain't sticking. That's alright. Signal. Ground. Tool time says more power. You should add more heat. Yep, I don't have any more heat. Unfortunately, my soldering iron is on maximum. It's doing it. It did it. It's just probably partially my fault because I'm trying to do things a little bit too quickly. There you go. Perfect. Perfecto. Yeah, my soldering iron. This is what my soldering iron looks like. Just in case you are interested. That's my soldering iron. You can see the amount of abuse it's had. Damn! That's a damn good cracker. Yeah, it definitely needs a little bit more heat. You can see the little nipples when your solder creates nipples like that. Definitely not hot enough. Well, it's done now, so now here, shall we put this one to the side? Yeah, that's just a UART signal cable. It'll be fine in the middle. Oh shit, sorry. Just destabilized my whole camera situation here. There you go. That's it. Oh, that one needs tinning. I forgot to tin this boy. Let's tin you up. That's it. That's it. Done. Yeah, that's good. Solder up motor cables 4. Well, it's time for an upgrade. Yeah, I've got another one, which I purchased after this one, which has got a little bit more temperature control. Unfortunately, the tips that it uses are those screw-on type, and I can't seem to find any good quality tips. So this tip is an aftermarket tip that I bought from a German engineering website, and I have not taken care of this tip at all. I bang it around, I scrape it, and I got this stuff, so I just dab it in there to keep it clean, and you can see like all that crusty casing has come off, but the solder doesn't corrode it. It doesn't corrode. It's been like this for about a year, and I bought like a set of 5 tips, and I'm on the first one. The other soldering iron, those tips, I solder one quad, and the tip is gone. It just disintegrates. So I don't use it anymore. It's just sitting over there, sitting in the cupboard. Now I just spilt solder dust everywhere. When I show you this, you see all that solder dust? Yeah. That shit is nasty, and that shit will cause failure. See? Solder ball came out of my motor. That wasn't a very smart thing to do, was it now, Kenny boy? Little stars. Little stars. Stars everywhere. So, Mr. Blue. Mr. Black. Mr. Red. And take it all off again. Guess what I forgot? You guessed it, the heat shrink. And that was the piece of heat shrink that flew God knows where earlier on. There it is, on the floor. Is that a bit too short? Fuck it, whatever. Got the best of me. Use it for something else. I like these ESCs, they've got a lot of space. A lot of space on the pads. There's a lot of space between the pads and the FETs, which is cool. Because they could have made them shorter. Maybe not. On this side there's not that much space. But anyway, enough space for what we like. Almost there. I think we're at the stage where we can almost power on. We're at the stage where we can almost power on. The only thing I need to do now is double check everything. Need some raw carbon. Let's see if we've got any shorts to to carbon. So it looks good to me. It's good to me. Now signals to ground. We've got nothing on signals to ground and nothing on signals to carbon. So yeah, we're good. And the last check, nothing on here. Cool, we're good. Now let's do a power test. What do I need? Just need to shrink these up. Just put these on, so there's nothing shorting anywhere, or possibly shorting. I need my VTX plugged in, and I need an antenna. Where's my antenna, boy? What? Oh, shit. There it is. Ready for bang? I don't even know how many of you are still watching. 5. Time for an upgrade. Looks like stars. Dab time. Dab time. You wish. My receiver. VTX receiver. Where's my dead battery? There's my radio. These are not going to spin the correct way. They're set to D-shot 600. I've got the grounds, the signals. We have 4 spinning motors. That sounds smooth as silk. What do you know? That's it. We have 4 spinning motors. I'm quite happy with that. She does sound like a new baby. So now next thing to do, just resolder my power lead for my receiver. My power telemetry, should I say. That's just a single cable that goes to the battery plus. Like so. And that plugs in to the receiver like so. Okay. And 16.4 volts. And 4 counterclockwise spinning motors. Should have anti-Taz, but I don't think it's working. Anti-Taz is not working, but I'll sort that out later. Cool. That means that I can go ahead and get Mr. Heat. And wrap those babies up. Cool. I like it. Yeah, next thing to check is the video noise on Moto 3. I'm pretty sure it'll be clean. So let's go ahead and just gently pop the cage. Can we do it without popping the cage on there? Probably not. Yeah, this is gonna be a bit funky to get that cable in its place. Let's see. So close. Come on. Gotcha. Stay. And gotcha. Right, so camera control. Now, do I have enough battery in this thing? Yes, I do. So we should be on race band 5. And I will need to plug it into a USB, which would mean switching microphones. So please bear with me whilst I create a lot of noise. So let me just switch microphones before unplugging. Hopefully it'll work, and we can go with the Pro with that one. Hello, can you still hear me? Hopefully you can still hear me. Let's get this up and running. Yeah, is audio good? Great. So let me just swap you over to here. Yes, I know. Okay. So we have configuration. Set this to 1200. Nah, we're not going to start with 1200. There's no point. I'll do that on the F7. I need to calibrate after I tie everything down. 8K, 8K, motors. So, got the risks. Clean, motor 1. Clean, motor 2. Clean, motor 3. And clean, motor 4. Let's try them all at once. And let's give them about 3/4 throttle. Have a little bit of noise at 3/4 throttle, which is the noisiest situation. I've got, is that a lens artifact? Huh, there's some weird coloring there, but I think that might be my screen and not the actual camera. And you can see there in that little, it's cracked there, the screen's cracked. There's a lot of weird color scenario going on. Looks good to me. I am happy with that. With no noise. Boom! Boom! Let me see. Yeah, you probably can't see because they're so small. Sorry, I forgot I switched over. Switch to beautiful. That is good. See if I have to do anything in terms of configuration. That's motor idle 5. Good. Needs a name. It's called Chameleon. Power on board 333, that's fine. That's correct. Ports, got my run cam, my tramp, and my modes. They should all still be good. Now, beeper. That is one thing. I've got the beeper. I need beeper. Beacon tone, lost RX set. Save in boot. There you go. One thing I need to do about the OSD is my RSSI. Where's my RSSI? Somewhere. There it is, see? It was in the middle of the screen. Let's see what that looks like. That is just below. Now that's one thing I need as well. RSSI alarms. My RSSI value should be on auxiliary 6. That's why it wasn't working. Or is it auxiliary 10? It's aux 10. Never remember. No, aux 6 is. Configuration. RSSI analog receiver. I wonder if the RSSI is actually under here. Signal to noise ratio. Extra. So channel 10, signal to noise ratio. That's aux 10. No, it's aux 6. That's set to aux 6. So why the fuck is it not showing me correctly? I need a reboot? Come on, why is it not doing it? Yeah. So the RSSI is always giving me 8. And it keeps on saying disabled. Is there something wrong with my... Is it injecting it in the CLI? Yes. Ah, I know what it is. Dump. Auxiliary max channels. Map, serials, LEDs, colors, modes, aux. Yes. Set. Set RC. Max aux channels. So it's not that. It's not that. Anybody got any clues? Why my receiver is disabled? Saved. Huh. I don't have the aux 6. That is why. Butterflies, box, snakes, RSS, flies, CLI. Value scaling issue, the RSS signal channel 16, aux 12. Using the aux switches. So configuring, that bit's done. Fail safe. Thanks to our sponsor. Shit. Let me see. What is going on in the old setup? That one didn't have it. These are my aux switches, yeah. This is a pain in the ass. Now you see why I stick to brushed. Do you have to calibrate? No. Don't have to calibrate the ESCs at all. Because running D-shot, anything with the digital. If I wanted to run multi-shot or one-shot, yes, I would have to calibrate them like the old school way. I do not see anything about that fucking aux serial 4. Auxiliary is the same. These are my switches. Okay. Butterfly RSI channel sets 0. Oh, sets disabled. Ah, that's interesting. Is this a regression bug? Let's have a look. So in 3.4, if you've got RSSI ADC turned on, this will override RSSI over RX. Interesting, because I did turn that on just a wee moment ago. That was disabled. There you go. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Now, should be able to set that. Yeah. Reboot. And that's better. Who would have believed? That's better. That is much better. That's working. Yay. And I also have it on my on here it says 40 dB. On the goggles it says 100%. And I've also got my voltages there, my internal voltages, and my external voltages, which is quite cool. There you go. Done. So that part is 100%. So now all I have left to do is to put it back together. I just have to put her back together. Let me just swap the microphone back. Microphone properties. Boom. Can you still hear me? Great. You still hear me? In this chat? I don't know who's still there. Can you just shout out in the chat if you're still there, who you are? Okay. So now we can start rebuilding the stack. What do I want to do? I want to get these cables. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Let's just pull this out a little bit. I might have to just reroute this one. Just reroute that. And that through there. Okay. Yeah, that way it really reaches all the way back here. And can go into its little position. Which is back here. Like so. Do I want it underneath? Yeah, I want it underneath. Where the VTX used to be. Because now the VTX is going on top of the stack. If you see what I mean. That goes in there. This can go. Do I want it underneath? This VTX is going like so. Yeah, I want the receiver underneath. Right, to be continued on the receiver front. Let's look at the rest of the stack. Get some nylon nuts. These go onto the little gummies. So who's there? I need your names. Whoever's watching, I've got 5 people there. Who are you? Nuts. Those with D's, nuts. Yeah, you're there, Square. I know that much. Who else? That leaves 4 other people. Well, that's interesting. Please use keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. Me and robots, you reckon? Could be. Why the hell would a robot want to look at my stream? It's the NSA. It's the NSA. Yeah, the NSA can watch these nuts all day long. This nut is fighting me. Okay, now this one. Do we want to go in this way? Yeah. Do I want to go in that way? Naturally wants to go that way, but that's because it's been in that position before. I don't want it that way, I want it this way. Do I though? I'm not happy with that. Shall I give it another height? Another 2 nuts? Ah! Ainda estás aí, Walter. Estou a jantar. Já veio, já foi? So it looks like Walter is still there. Walter's my mate from Portugal. It looks like he's had dinner and has come back already. That's great. Good to see. Yes. So I will be visiting Walter from Sunday to next week. I'll be going over. Yeah, I can't do the double stack. Be going. I would say home, but it's not my home anymore. Going back to the motherland. Yeah, I can say motherland. Yeah, so using 2 nuts is not gonna work. And 1 nut is just a little bit too flipping close. Sorry, let me see if I can find. I have 2 nuts that are slimmer than the rest. What are the chances of finding both of them in here? I think the chances are pretty slim. Don't you think? That's not slim. Yeah, it's not in there. Let's see if it's in the other nut box. There it is. There you go. See? So I can pop these little slimmer ones on like so. And then I'll have just enough height for the stack. Perfect. See? That's it. So, there we have it. Perfect double-sided stack with enough room for the top plate, enough room to hide my VTX under here. Sorry, my VTX, my receiver under there. Yeah. So let's do the receiver bits now. So this tape can go. I'll replace this tape with new tape. Shit. Where's my lighter? Most of these double-sided tapes, the glue deactivates with heat. That's it, cool. So, antenna. Now this is going to be the tricky part because I need to fix it in place, fix the antennas on with tape, and plug them in. And plug the whole thing in, so let's move this shit out of the way. So that looks like it is got a nice little position to it. But that plug sticks out, so you can't get like good leverage. Can't get a good base to sort of glue it down. So what do I have here that can mitigate that? Guess I have these foam things, but I don't want to stick them to here because that's crazy. I need a piece of rubber or some foam. 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 Any ideas? I need some foam. Or I could just use a few layers of this stuff. But I'd need like a bucket ton of layers. And this shit's expensive. Tape it. The thing is, I don't want this thing anywhere sort of near the carbon. I don't want to heat shrink it either. I could heat shrink it though. No, I had a bad experience when I heat shrunk the last one. Oh, look at that. Yeah. I guess I could use this bit of silicone. I'm gonna fly tomorrow. Yeah, this is not gonna stick to the silicone though. Fuck it, layers. Guess three layers should be enough. Three layers. Perfect. Yeah. So it's rested on one side. That connector is resting on the carbon. And it's sort of got enough flexibility to move around and do its thing. Now, one thing that I want to... Ooh. Now, you see, this is where this could catch you out. You see right in there? Don't know if you can see that properly. Basically, that red cable is touching the bind button. You know what that means, right? The bind button is just there. See it? And it's just in the way of my battery lead. So if I pull the battery lead, chances are I press the bind button. So I need to shift this out a little bit. And now it's stuck, of course. Of course it's stuck. There you go. Move it just a little bit to the side. clear from the bind button. Get these receiver antennas. Into place. Have to be really careful with these micro FL connectors. Do not bend them around. And this one's a bit too long now, so we're gonna have to twist it back that way. There you go. That way it's got enough strain relief on it. And it is in place. So there's the strain relief. Perfect strain relief there. Perfect strain relief on this one. Let's get that in there. That looks good. This red sucker has to go underneath the antenna and plug into its port this way. There it goes. Come on. Come on. There you go. That's it. My receiver cable has to plug in this way, just there. Gotcha. Right. Now, the last final bits. Tape it. That's no good. Yeah, I'll put some tape. That's fine. That is fine. It's really hard to get back there. I will tape the antennas though. Should have left that bit on. Stupid boy. This tape, after about 24 hours, it cures, and it becomes really hard to remove. Back to the front end here, to this bit. Let me grab some 2mm M2 screws. Ah, shit. I'm out of long M2 screws. I've only got the short ones. Anyway, I only needed one, didn't I? Because the others are still okay. It ain't long enough. I know I had longer M2 screws somewhere. That sucks. That sucks. Yeah, this one's not even tightening because it's already rounded off. I think this was the #1 complaint about the Chameleon. It was these cage screws from the front. I'm gonna have to go to the hardware store. Problem is the hardware stores here are very limited in what they fucking sell. They only sell like the most common shit. I'm gonna have to ask my local quad dealer if he's got any stuff. Hello, caller. What's your name? Oh, damn. Yeah, I can't tighten those anymore, else they're not gonna come out. So let's stick the camera control board back into its position. If I can reach it, there you go. There you go, stuck into its little cubby hole. And this goes on there. And we have a lot of space. That's much better than it was before. Yeah, cool beans. So now all I have left to do is sort of put foam underneath my ESCs and button those up, connect it up to BL Heli Suite to reverse 2 of the motors, button up the top plate. I might throw some Loctite on these 2 nuts. What else? Not really much more to do. Yeah, and tidy up this tape and stuff. So I think I'll leave that for tomorrow. To button up all these little pieces, bits and pieces. I am very happy with how this turned out with my new Wraith ESCs. And I guess I'm going to wrap it up over here. Unless anybody has any questions. If you have any questions, I'll feel free to say something in the chat right now, and I'll answer your questions. Yeah? Anybody? Thank you, Square. It was an honor and a pleasure to have your company during this stream. I know there wasn't a big audience, but hopefully enough people will see this post live and see how it's done, at least in part. Just gonna add this screw here to keep my top plate. There, right, okay. I'm happy how this is done. So I will now pop onto the Discord for some further chattage. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a lovely evening. Over and out.